Hello, and thank you for joining us on TVC News at 1. President Bola Tinubu is expected to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in the coming days to discuss his recent claims of a so-called Christian genocide in Nigeria. Special advisor to the president and policy communications, Daniel Bwala, discloses on social media saying both leaders remain committed to strengthening cooperation against terrorism and insurgency. Now, this follows President Trump's warning of possible U.S. military action in Nigeria after claiming that Christians were under attack. Speaking aboard Air Force One, President Trump said he had asked the Pentagon to prepare a possible plan of action, calling the situation an existential threat to Christianity. Reacting, the Nigerian presidency says the country welcomes U.S. support in the fight against terrorism, but only in ways that respect Nigeria's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Nigeria has maintained that no religion is being singled out for attacks, insisting that security agencies are tackling all forms of violent extremism across faiths and regions. Joining me for this conversation as many persons react to this from the United Kingdom is a global security analyst, Femi Aratoko. It's good to have you join us at this time. President Trump threatening military action. Is this something that Nigerians or the international community should be taking with levity?
Thank you so much for having me. And I think this is a very great time for us to discuss what is meant to be security again in Nigeria, because over time it has been politics and politics. But now things are changing and it shouldn't be politics and politics again. That's fine. But for Donald Trump, the president of America, to have openly disclosed that, yes, this is exactly what he wants to do in Nigeria is completely out of order. That is one. And secondly, he should equally respect the sovereignty of Nigeria and respect Africa, that this is not time for war. Rather, this is time for us to really go into dialogue and negotiation and look for a lasting peace to all this insecurity that is happening in Nigeria today. Coming down to talk about war is completely degrading Nigeria, and I don't think that should be it at the moment. We should look for a lasting way. And I commend the president, Nigerian president, for not reacting badly towards this news, rather taking it with all seriousness and looking for a better way to look for a solution towards it.
And we've seen different reactions to this, even on social media. Some describing the United States perhaps as a savior or expressing hope that the U.S. may intervene in this. Considering the fact that Nigeria is a sovereign nation itself, what's the potential downside of this situation?
You see, thank you so much. I would want to say something. The president of Nigeria inherited a cumulative problem that has been compounding for a very long time. Is what he's inherited, and he's actually put some good guys, in quotes, to be in charge of so many departments. He's not the only one ruling the country. He's got his ministers ruling the country, but the question is, what are they doing? If your service police chiefs are not working well, change them, replace them. That is what should happen. Egbetokun is due to leave. Let him leave, allow him to go and put some good guys back that will take charge. Do not let us play politics with security. But in Nigeria, what we do today, and I will be honest, is we play a lot of politics around security, and it's beginning to hunt us back. Does it cost the new interior minister to have taken so much charge because he's really in charge? It's an internal problem. It is no longer, it is not for once an international problem. So who they should be talking to should be the interior minister that should take charge, not anyone else. Interior minister and the police should take charge, not even the military. Fair enough, the military is part of them now. Let us look for a lasting way to do it. And when other countries or other Western world are now concerned about it, now it becomes conflict of interest. Are they really for us, or they are just after something else? Let us look at it. How many wars have we seen America go for, and they've actually successfully, won it back? Libya is there. Iraq is there.
I mean, that's another question that many persons are also asking. But let's look at how, Mr. Aratoko, I'm hoping you can hear me.
So we should not put Nigeria into it at all. We know how to manage our problems, and I think we can manage it better.
So let's look at how this really affects, the national image of Nigeria, which many persons say President Trump should have really considered before making this statement, describing the situation in Nigeria as a Christian genocide. This kind of statement, isn't it inflammatory? Does it not, tend to increase tensions, not just in Nigeria, but foreigners who are also living in the country?
Well, it's a bad image for the country to say, oh, we're under genocide, or this is not Rwanda in those days. So we can't say, oh, we actually have the terrorists or the criminals are actually, targeting the Christians. Christians and Muslims are equally, feeling the whole situation. They are both victims of all this situation we're talking about. So separating Christians from the Muslims and saying these are the people perpetrating it is completely out of order to me. And I don't think it's wise enough for a president to come out that way and say that, yes, it could be a concern to everybody. Yes, it's a concern to the president of Nigeria himself. And fair enough, he's actually looking for ways how to tackle it. So the question is this: let us find a way and see how we can work things out, rather than, painting one particular department bad and leaving others, non-painted. So it's not really worth it. And I don't think Donald Trump should be doing this at this very moment in time. What we need right now is peace. And I think we should look for negotiating peace as partnership rather than threatening with war. We don't want that, because if you start, we only know the beginning, we might likely not know the end of the war.
We understand that there are plans to make sure that both sides work together to get a good agreement on this matter. But that's a fine place to leave the conversation for now. Global security analyst Femi Aratoku, thank you for talking to us at this time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, in the meantime, troops of the 12th Brigade of the Nigerian Army have rescued 2 kidnapped victims and recovered a ransom sum of 3.8 million naira during a counter-kidnapping operation in Kogi State. Acting Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, 12th Brigade, Captain Hassan Abdullahi said the operation took place on the 2nd of this month following credible intelligence on kidnapping activities along the Itobe-Adomu-Ejulo axis. He explained that troops deployed at the forward operating base in Oguma intercepted the kidnappers at Achigele village, were responding to reports of relatives attempting to deliver ransom payment. The soldiers reportedly came under fire but overpowered the criminals, forcing them to abandon 2 victims and the ransom money before fleeing with gunshot wounds. The rescued victims have since been debriefed and the recovered 3.8 million naira was returned to them. And as the world marks the 2025 International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, FCT Council, has renewed calls for greater protection and respect for media professionals across the country. In a statement issued in Abuja, the Council Secretary Jide Oyekunle condemned the rising cases of harassment, intimidation, and physical attacks on journalists, describing them as an assault on democracy and freedom of expression. Back in Lagos State, the Commissioner of Police, Olorundare Jimoh, says no protest will be allowed to hold. He said this today as he led his men to the Wurusheki area of Lagos State. Addressing journalists, the Commissioner of Police said he has deployed officers across strategic areas of the state. According to him, the increased presence of police officers in those areas was due to information available to the command that some people are planning to stage a protest. I'll bring you more details of that as soon as we have them. Moving on to cushion the hardship faced by victims of insurgency, the Adamawa state government has empowered over 2,500 residents of Madigali local government with materials to rebuild their livelihoods and boost economic recovery. This intervention, supported by the UNDP under its Regional Stabilization Facility project, follows the return of peace to the area. JC Dada reports.
Madagali local government area, situated in the northern part of Adamawa state, is predominantly an agrarian community whose people have long depended on farming for their livelihood. However, Years of insurgency disrupted life and economic activities here. Today, the story is changing as peace returns and residents begin to rebuild their lives. In a renewed effort to strengthen recovery and resilience, the Adamawa State government, under the leadership of Governor Adamawa, with support from the United Nations Development Programme through its Regional Stabilization Facility project, has empowered 2,500 beneficiaries with various livelihood materials. The intervention is designed to rekindle economic activities and promote sustainable livelihood across the local government.
The vocational kits include materials to support small-scale enterprise such as tailoring, catering, hairdressing, welding, carpentry, and other vocational trades designed to promote self-reliance and income generation. I want to use this opportunity to urge all beneficiaries to make judicious, productive use of the items and cash grants provided today.
Residents filled with joy and gratitude say the support has brought renewed hope to their communities.
As a matter of fact, I will say this has taken our people out of poverty because 2,250 people empowered to this extent in our own chiefdom is something that is worth reckoning. Your Excellency, we thank you very much.
Governor Ahmadu Umaru, who led the distribution, reaffirmed his administration's commitment to consolidating peace and improve security across the state.
Continue on this trajectory to ensure that nobody is left behind and nothing is left untouched. We will continue to put in our best in ensuring that we get our people out of poverty and we improve on their livelihood. I only ask on our partners to scale up this program.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
As the hope of these community members comes alive, the people of Madagali are beginning to look at the future with a renewed confidence anchored on peace, empowerment, and self-reliance. JC Daniel, TVC News, Yola.